Hey everybody, J. Scott Helms here. Today we're going to do a little bit of a flashback episode. A couple months back I did a video on the Archon Fitness single pulley cable station. The video is here on the channel, easy enough to find. I'll try to link to it down here below. But I've had a lot of questions and comments about it, so I wanted to do a second video and respond to some of those, and then show you a few things that I have added to mine along the way. All right, let's do it. All right, so for those of you who might not know what I'm talking about here, it's this little dude right here, the Archon single pulley cable station. Looks like this. It's got the lanyard on it, and so this is for attaching to your half rack, your rack studs down in the basement. It's designed for someone who doesn't have room for a traditional cable station, and that's why I sought this thing out and bought it in the first place. So we'll talk a little bit about this, but as I said, I do have another video that covers a little more that I'm going to cover about this specifically today. So one of the most frequent questions that I get is how easy is it to attach to your home gym? It's actually fairly simple. As you can see just by looking at it, you have two options. You have the, you have to wrestle it around a little bit, but you have the clip that's easy enough if you have something to attach it to. You also have the lanyard, which is about 12 or 14 inches long. Really well made, it's nice and thick. And it'll just loop over something. You pull the pulley through it, and it just cinches tight against the frame of your rack or half rack, your pull-up bar, whatever you have. And again, I go through the setup in the first video, but we're going to touch on it again. I'll move the camera back to my home gym and give you an idea of what I've done with mine. So I get a lot of questions about how well is it held up, and it's hard to tell just from looking at this video, but the case of this thing is all steel. It's really well made. It's got a very, I'm not sure what type of plastic, but the pulley in it is outstanding. And then the entire, you'll notice too, I should go ahead and say, I have the cable off of mine for purposes of holding it here on video, because I'm crazy with my hands, in case you haven't noticed, and I didn't want to gouge my own eye out. But it's easy enough to get that cable in and out of it. So all you have to do is, you notice you have a pin here with a little cotter pin, and all you have to do, if you've seen the other video, you know that I drop this in the floor every time I do it, so don't be surprised. But this pin, if I can get it spun around, there you go, every time. The pin slides out, that comes out, and the pulley slides out. Looks like this. I can turn it where you can see it. Okay? So it's very easy to get your cable in and out of it. And the reason that comes up a lot is probably the third most common thing, is you'll see in the comments that the cable that comes with it is 70 inches long. And it's just too long. It's something I complained about in the first video. I've had other people say the same thing, fetching the pin here. And as I said in the first video, the length of that cable is a bit of a problem. So it just slides back together like that. The 70-inch cable is just too long. Now, if you have a higher spot to put it, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but Archon does make a 55-inch cable that you can, they say you can order it. I have attempted 3 times now to order just the cable and have not been able to do it. So I'm not going to knock them too much for that, because the rig itself is great. This is actually the cable that comes with it, and that's 70 inches just rolled up. As I said, I took it off. So immediately, the first thing I would say, if you can, if that 70-inch cable is too long, you're going to want to replace it, which is exactly what I did. I made my own, and I addressed this in the first video a little bit. At that point, I hadn't made them, but I had looked into it. I actually just bought a spool of this coated 1-inch aircraft cable, bought the clevises on the end there, crimped them, and made my own. And it's held up pretty good. I've run about 250 pounds on this thing, 225 pounds, not had any trouble. If you can't make them yourself, That's pretty good. If you work somewhere that has a maintenance department, those guys could probably make one for you. Lowe's or Home Depot might do it. I've not checked. Hardware stores have crimps, cables to do this kind of stuff. You can probably have them made if you need one made. But that's the biggest thing I've seen with mine, is the cable was too long. So took matters in my own hand, and I've actually made several of these at different lengths just to try it. The next thing I would say, and I get asked this a couple of times, the carabiners that hold everything together. So the way this is going to work is, you saw the one on top of the pulley, and that is strictly for mounting the pulley itself. All right, this is the same, wow, this is the same carabiner that comes on the cable for hooking your attachments to. Now these come with the pulley, but the only problem with this one that's on the cable, well, is it's rather small, as you can see. It's well made, it holds the weight. I have no complaints about the function of this. It's just a little too small. So one of the things I have done, and I have told others they might want to look into, is I upgraded the carabiners to a bigger one. So to give you an idea, this is the one that came with it. This is what I upgraded to. So I don't know what the actual weight capacity on this is. This is rated for 400 pounds, so I have to believe this is as well. Certainly haven't maxed it out. But I do know that this one is rated for 535 pounds. I bought these at Lowe's. I actually bought 4 of them. Bought them at Lowe's. They come in individual packs. They're about $4 a piece. So I recommend upgrading from the little one that comes with it on the cable side to a bigger one. And the reason for it is this. When you have the one they send you on the cable, thusly, and then you take any attachment, stand by. You take any attachment, it's professional operation around here, any attachment, and start trying to get that in there. If you can see, my fat digits get in the way of the swing of this and taking it back out. Okay? Hang on. So taking the little one back out. All right, here's the bigger one. Drop it on. You got a lot more room to swing that open and get your attachment in there. Now it does add a touch of length to it. Not enough to really be concerned about. I've said before, while I move around here, I need to get someone to do some singing in the background or some interpretive dance. We're going to work on that. So you've got a little bit of a length difference, maybe 3/4 of an inch. So if you are making your own cables, you can adjust for that. If not, suck up 3/4 of an inch. All right, so changing out that. Again, the one that comes on the unit, the one that's on top of it, is fine. No worries at all there. We're usually not taking it down. Okay. So those are the 3 most asked questions. I get one about, every once in a while, about how easy is it to move around. In other words, it's easy enough to set up and install. So to take it down and move it, and say you want to throw it in your bag and take it with you if you're going out of town, or if you want to take it off the gym and take it out to the garage and use it. It's very easy, very simple. The whole thing probably weighs about 1.5 pounds. You can take it, you just wrap the lanyard up, drop it in the bag, stick it in your pocket, carry it around with you. On your gym, if you've got it, say, on the pull-up bar, that's a pull-up. If you've got it up on the pull-up bar, and you decide, well, every time I want to set this up and use it, I've got to take that down to use the pull-up bar. Well, it's easy enough to take that off and put it on the back of your rack, or take it off and just hang it over the side and loop it back on. It's not a big deal to pull down and move after every use. In fact, it's what I do with mine. I loop mine around. I might leave it and start with that workout the next time, but for the most part, I'll loosen it up and just slide it off to the side down the gym and just leave it hang there. All right, so I'm going to grab a couple things put together here, and then I want to show you the next phase of questions or changes. All right, hang tight. Okay, so the next question I get is based on the first video I made. I made a comment in the video that when I purchased the pulley system, I hadn't really purchased anything to use with it. I had a triceps rope, I had a 36-inch bar, but that was about all I had at the time. Since then, and I get a lot of questions about what have you bought to use with it, where did you get it, what did you buy, why did you pick it. So let's cover for a couple of minutes here some of the attachments that I have purchased, and I'll show you what they look like. And again, as always, I will put links down below to every individual item so you can take a look at them for yourself. All right? So, number one, the very first thing I purchased was a single D handle, however you normally see them. So you've seen these, you might even already have a couple. If you do, fast forward. But I bought one of these because I wanted to be able to do one-handed pull downs, maybe flies if you relocate it. You can move it around, put it anywhere. You know, you can pull down with it, you can pull sideways with it. It'll be on the back side, you're doing flies, crossovers. This thing is actually great. It's made by Champion Barbell, and I paid like $8.50 for this. All steel, spins nice and smooth, not left-handed, nice and smooth. The knurling is really good. No edges, no sharp spots, good welds across here, and it's held up. I've had, you know, again, 225 pounds on this with the cable, and it works great. This is a great addition, especially for less than $9. They even have them as a pair, and I think a pair of them was like $17. I probably should have done that now that I think about it. Regardless, $9, this is a great addition to the pulley. And you can be creative and probably come up with a lot more than I'm thinking about with it. But I do about 4 different exercises with this. All right, moving on. More than likely, everybody is familiar with the old triceps rope, right? So I already had this one, but I've had people ask me to explain what this is. You attach it, it slides through the center point there so you can adjust the evenness of your handles. But for those of you that don't know, you put this on your pulley system, your hands will fit up against the bottom, and you're pulling it down, working your triceps. Plenty of great videos to see how this works there on YouTube. But I already had one, but this is a great addition if you don't have one. I'll put a link to one down below. This one's a couple years old, so it might not be the same one I have, but is this awkward at all? Is anyone else? Is it just me? All right, anyway, I'll put a link to one. It might not be the same one, but they're all basically the same. I'll pick a good one and put a link to it. All right. So, in keeping with the triceps rope, one thing that I bought, I've wanted this for a while, and since I have the system, it's a great time to go ahead and get it, is a single triceps rope. How cool is that, right? It's the same as the double that we just had up there, slightly different attachment point. Oh. Just for one hand. So it's the same length. For all I know, it's made by the same people. This one is made by Overlord Fitness, and it was like $11.50. Free shipping. There you go. I'll put a link down below, but this thing is great for just isolating one arm instead of doing two. And again, you can get creative and do all kinds of stuff with this. But I ran across one of these about a year ago and wanted it, but didn't have a pulley system. Now I do, and I can't stop buying stuff for it. So this is a great little addition. All right. Okay, another great tricep tool, that handle right there. So you see it attaches just like any other attachment. Good knurling down the side. Hands go up against the handles there, or against the ends. Yep. All steel. I think I gave about $12 for this one as well. So that was another addition that I made. Last but not least, you see me almost fall out of the chair there? That'd have been fun. The old D handle. Everybody's seen one of these. V handle, whatever you want to call it. Attachment point, again, all steel, chromed up. The only thing I wish about this one, I didn't pay enough attention when I bought it, is it's only knurled in the middle. I wish it would have been knurled all the way across. You know, again, I gave about $12-14 for it. No real complaints, just on me. I should have paid more attention. Well made. So you can put this on your cable system, but this is also great for doing landmine work. You know, your barbell lay right in here. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, a lot of good videos on how to use these on YouTube, but it was a good addition, and it was fairly inexpensive. I'm working on being able to fold it in, but you know, I'm a ways off. So, having said all that and had this whole professional video made for you here, again, I can't say enough about how great that this thing is. It is an enormous space saver. If you want a cable system and just don't have room for a traditional pulley system, and I'll put pictures in here again like I did in the first video. You have the type you can sit down on, the type that mount up on the wall, and I just didn't have the room for it. This is well worth the money. Now when you go and look at these, if you follow the link, on the website they sell it one way. You get one pulley with one cable, you get you get a triceps attachment for it, you get a plate holder, and I think it's around 60 bucks. If you go to Amazon, they offer it 4 different ways. They have 4 packages. You can get a single pulley, double pulleys, 4 cables, 2 cables. They have it 4 different ways. Again, I will put links down below. I actually bought the 2 pulley package. It was around 100 bucks. I think it was like $98 or $99. But I bought 2 because I wanted to try to figure out a way to do a high pulley and a low pulley. And with my rack, the low pulley is a little bit hard to do. It can be done, but it's a pain. But still, 2 pulleys, I can hook them up on either side. Let your imagination run wild. Okay, so from here, I'm going to shut this down. We'll take it in the back, and I'll show you how I have mine set up. And we'll come back and maybe address a couple of more questions. As always, if you have any questions, put them in the links down below, and I will respond as quickly as I can. I like to interact with everybody. Also, if you would, while I'm thinking about it, give the video a like, click subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps. It makes things a little bit easier for me. I can do this a little more often, and I enjoy doing it. I like talking to you. It's fun. It's fun. All right, I'm going to break this down, and we're going to go in the back, and I'll do some more hand gestures back there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to briefly go over the setup again, as in how I would attach this to my half rack, and it will apply to just about any square tubing frame. There's plenty of lanyard here to attach to about anything. So I'll show you how I do it with mine, and then we'll just go on from there. All right, so again, you're going to take this and just kind of loop the entire system through. So here we go. All right, so take your lanyard over, put your pulley and cable through it. All right, and that's that. Key thing there too, after you've looped it through, pull it down tight so it cinches. If you don't do that, the first time you put weight on it or pull it, it's going to shift. And it's going to make your cable too long, or it's going to make your pull awkward. Loop it around, pull it tight. So after that, and I know you can't probably see it with this, but the weight end of my cable, I'm going to attach the plate holder and a plate. And all that is clipping the D-ring on. All right, so I'll pan in and let you see that. I'll scroll down so you can see how it attaches. So I'm going to put something on it, pull a little bit of weight off of it. So first thing I'll stick on there, we'll just go ahead and put our D handle on. All right, so that takes the slack out of it, and I will pan down and show you what the hook up to the weight holder looks like. That's a little better. So like I said, mine's right in the middle. You could put it on either side, wherever you want to put it. Doesn't matter. Anywhere you have room. I could actually move it to the back and put it back here and never have to worry about it. I could just leave it back there all the time. But I choose to put it right in the middle. It's just a little more convenient for my setup. So once you have everything attached, you've got your cable on it, or got your attachment on, whatever you happen to be doing, the thing, it works nice and smooth. Now I only have a little bit of weight on here just to show you what it looks like, but I can show you how smooth this thing is. So it just pulls that plate up, slides right back down. Nice and quiet, nice and smooth. And the same is going to be true for anything you put on here. Now again, is the distance I've got right here, I could loop that again and take some more out of it, but as you can see, the cable that I made for mine, this length right here works great for this cable. So if you had that 70-inch cable on here that comes with it, you could loop that 1 or 2 more times and take 6 or 8 inches out of that strap. And again, if your frame is a different size, this is 2x2 up here, my sides are 3x3, so if you've got a thicker frame, you're automatically going to take more distance out of here anyway. But you can be very creative with this. Okay, so once you have it set up the way you want to set it up, you just have to, all you have to do then is add your weight and change your pulley, or change your attachment. So this is with the D-ring that I just showed you in the other room. So we'll take that off. And we'll hook up that single rope that I was showing you. All right, flip it on, pull it down, then you're ready to go. Now granted, I'm standing sideways to do that, but it's just to give you an idea. You can stand right under it. You can step out to take up some of the distance of your cable. And again, this one isn't the best attachment for it, but you can take it, pull it across your body. Same thing goes with any of the other attachments. We'll put this one back on. So there you go. So again, if you step out to the side or step out in front of whatever your attachment point is, I'm going to try to angle where you can see me. This thing just draws nice and smooth. Just like that. Same thing with pulling it down. You know, you can stand here. All right. That's about all I got for it, really. So that's really just about all I've got for an update on this pulley system. As always, if you have any questions, post them down below. I can always come back and answer them again, or answer you right there in the comments. I'm more than happy to come back and do another video on it down the road. As far as attachments go, I've got lots of questions about attachments. There are dozens of different things out there you can attach to almost any cable pulley system. The ones I showed you today are probably the most common. The only thing that I didn't show you that would fall into that category is the 36-inch bar that most people will have with the cable pulley system, usually comes with them. There's also, as one is 14 or 18-inch, there are shorter bars, so you can get in close and do pull downs, all kinds of stuff. There are also straps that I don't have one of these, but you can get straps to do crunches with, and again, tons of videos online or on YouTube to see that. The pulley system itself does come with a nylon strap. It's well made, that you could use for tricep pull downs, or you could use for crunches if you wanted to. The only problem is it's a little short for crunches, but for triceps it works great. Take a look at the other video. I go into a little more detail, the unboxing. You can see what it looks like when you get it. And the initial setup, I spent a little more time in the first video showing that setup, but I've had so many questions, I just wanted to quickly show how easy it is to do. This is one product that I have to say, of everything I've bought, this is absolutely one of my favorites for several reasons. Number one, the quality is outstanding. I have not had one issue with the quality of this product at all. The few pulls I did back there, the thing is dead silent. It's as smooth as can be, and it's just a great piece of kit. It's fantastic. The only complaint about it again is that 70-inch cable is a little too long, but there are ways to work around it. Also, too, it's just a small intermediate system if you don't have room for a bigger system. So to have the cable be a little bit too long, think of it as working in your advantage. It gives you a little more leeway to set it up in other ways. Get creative, not crazy, creative. I'll get crazy if you want, you know what I'm saying? Again, any other questions, put them down below. It's a great product. I will link to it again. I will link to both Archon's site and to where I purchased it on eBay. I wish I got a cut for selling these things, because I've had so many people contact me about them, and I feel like Archon could do a better job marketing these things, because they would really sell. You know, especially if you'd like to have one outside in your carport, in your garage, if you're out there doing some kind of functional training in the yard, for $60, why not add one of these to your outside, you know? Anyway, do me the favor of clicking the like button down below. Please subscribe, it really helps. I think I already begged you for this earlier, but I'm not too proud to beg. I'm gonna cut that out, I promise. But it helps me out, it doesn't cost you anything. And until next time, anything you want to say, put it down below and I'll do my best to respond. Or just say hi. I really like it when people say hi, all right? So I will talk to you later, all right? Have a good one.